1 on my list of things that bookkeepers wish they would have done before they got their first client. The first thing is less certifications. And this might sound weird, but I actually talk about this a lot on my client, is that some personalities get too focused on getting every single certification, knowing everything that there is to know before they even attempt to get their first client. So this week I was in the Bookkeeper Launch Facebook group, and that's actually what the inspiration for this video was that someone asked, like, what do you wish you would have done before you got your first client? And within that group, I see a lot of people saying, okay, I did my Bookkeeper Launch certification. There is a link about Bookkeeper Launch in the description box if you don't know what that is, but they do that certification. Maybe they get another certifications about cleanups. Maybe they get their QuickBooks Pro Advisor Normal and Advanced. So they're taking like a year getting like 6 different certifications when really probably just one of them would have been sufficient. And at some point you need to prove to yourself that you're able to actually go out there and get clients and work with clients. And I know it can be daunting. You're gonna feel like you don't know what you're doing and you don't have enough experience. But honestly, that's kind of how everyone feels at first. And I have felt that in almost every job I've ever had. Even, when I worked in corporate America, they hired me for something. I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. But you just learn. You learn on the job and you learn a little bit every day, and then you research stuff and then people help you and you start to figure it out. So if that sounds like you, someone who is really focused on getting a bunch of different certifications, I would now focus your attention onto networking. So join some groups where you can meet people who can introduce you to possible bookkeeping clients. Number 2 thing that people wish they did before they got their first client is set up some simple onboarding systems. So the 2 areas I would focus within onboarding is create some sort of contract. Some people call it a letter of engagement, something that is legal, that is between you and your potential client to make sure that you guys are on the same page. It will have your job outlined and how much they're going to pay you, like terms of employment. So I have a whole nother video all about contracts for a bookkeeper. If you take my beginning class about how to start your bookkeeping business in 30 days, I give you a contract within that. You can also probably find one on like LegalZoom, or, there's a lot of online options now that you can probably find some kind of simple contract for a service-based business. If you take Bookkeeper Launch, which is a longer, more expensive and really good also program, they give you a whole section on onboarding, and they give you that engagement letter also, and they teach you how to structure your first meetings with your client. So some kind of legal document is the first thing I would say, and figure out how you're going to get paid. So the thing I've used the most often is just the payments within QuickBooks Online. And I think some people don't love it, some people like it, I don't know. I just liked it because I'm already in QuickBooks. It's really easy just to invoice people in QuickBooks Online. I haven't price compared a lot of different things, but that one was just convenient for me within QuickBooks Online. Another thing I use a lot now is Milio, M-I-L-I-O, to get paid. So figure out just those couple onboarding things, and that's gonna save you a lot of headache when you do meet with your first client and you're not scrambling to be like, oh no, now I need a contract and I need to give it to them in an hour. So think about that now before you get your first bookkeeping client. And I will say, I have 5 things on this list. I don't want these 5 things to overwhelm you, so please don't feel like paralyzed, like, oh, I have to have every single thing perfect before I get my first client. No, I don't want you to do that, because that could be a roadblock for you. So if you can kind of figure out your personality and what is going to help you keep moving forward, that is likely going to be the key to your success. So if you're newer, maybe you only have 1 or 2 or 3 clients and your time isn't all the way filled up, start working on some of these small organizational things that are going to help you in the long run. Number 3 is an effective communication system with clients. So a lot of times you're going to have a really long, messy email that honestly just gets kind of frustrating. I have one of those with my accountant right now because he gave me 10 things to do and then I answered with 5 things, and then it's just getting really messy. So if you have a client communication system, some examples of these that I have heard about but not used are Keeper and Liscio, L-I-S-C-I-O. I think that there is a cost associated with, I know Liscio, I looked into it, it's a little pricey, so that might not be a good fit if you're if you don't even have any clients yet, but you can start thinking about that and researching it. Also, within QuickBooks Online, they have a client communication section where you can send your client stuff. Honestly, I don't hear about bookkeepers using that a ton, so I'm not sure if it is lacking. One program I do use all the time, every day, is Asana. So I use that to organize my business internally and kind of my to-do list and what I should be doing each day and each week and each month. Another similar one is called ClickUp, and I do have a video on this channel you can search for. If you just type Asana in the search, then I have an idea of how to communicate with clients within Asana. So you can add a client to that. You can assign them a task that's don't forget to go through your Ask My Accountant and let me know what those items are that I sent you. And you can link the spreadsheet right in the Asana task. Again, if you can set yourself up for success with some of these communication systems, that will be key. I also talked about recently, it was a video about automating your business. If you have templates for things you need to say over and over to clients. If you have like frequently asked questions from clients, or every month you're asking them to do something or asking for invoices, if you can write that once and then just send it, copy and paste it each time, that will save you time. Okay, number 4 is invest in software from the very beginning. So this one, I don't know, this was from that thread that I was reading in the Bookkeeper Facebook group. So someone said they wished that they had invested in things earlier. For example, a receipt management tool. So they use Dext, which is D-E-X-T, Dext, for receipt management, for like collecting receipts from your client. Again, I just use QuickBooks for that. I attach on my QuickBooks, not the easiest system, honestly. But I do kind of identify with the word invest in this one, because when I started, was trying to do everything super, super cheap, and it made it harder, which is fine. That's where I was at the time. But in hindsight, I wish I would have invested more money in things that made my life easier. Or for example, like, I felt like I couldn't afford Bookkeeper Launch because, I didn't want to pay the money for it. But now, 10 years later, I am still a bookkeeper. I didn't know if I would still be a bookkeeper in 10 years. So investing in things like an educational program would help me and save me a lot of time. And I haven't mentioned yet that my name is Morgan. My website is FinePoints.biz. I just started a TikTok. If you're on TikTok, go follow me there. It's kind of fun. It's like a different platform that's kind of new to me. And I also have a way that you can join and become like a member of my YouTube channel. So there's a join button down there. I'll maybe put a screenshot here that shows you how to do it. But you get access to all my library of freebies, of printables. You get discounts off my products, and you get priority for getting your questions answered. So if you're interested in that, click join. That's like a newish feature on YouTube. So if you don't get what it is, just chat with me in the comments and I'll kind of explain it more in the comments. Number 5 is, before you get your first client, do a few things to keep your business organized. Like, you're running a business here, so you can choose to kind of be chaotic or to be organized. And obviously I suggest that you are more organized. So a few small examples of this are, have a consistent file naming system. This is pretty easy to do. You probably have your files organized in other areas of your life. So what I do is I have a file for FinePoints for my business, my business stuff, and then I have a file for each client. And then I also have one that's like called new client or something, so the contract is in there. So every time I have a new client, I just copy that, template, I guess, and then create a new folder. And I can do a video on this if you'd like. I feel like I've shared it before, but it's been a long time. So I can share my file naming system if that's helpful. Also, a monthly closing checklist. So like a list of bookkeeping tasks that you do each month. Again, I have a video about this. I don't know what it's called anymore. It was like 2 years ago. You could also just like ask ChatGPT, be like, what is a list of bookkeeping tasks that I need to do each month? And then it will probably give you like a list of 10 things, and then you can use that as a starting point and tweak it with your own, things that you do each month as well. And every client's gonna be a little bit different also. And then also think about your calendar. So what things do you need to schedule each month? Do you have a monthly phone call as part of your contract for one of your bookkeeping clients? Schedule those in now. Any of these things that you can do to make your life and your business feel more organized and streamlined. Number 6, someone said they wished that they had thought about scalable marketing sooner. So it's likely your first few clients will come from people you'll be chatting, maybe you're networking in person. At some point, if you want to grow even bigger, you might have to do something online. So you can start doing things now, like create a really good LinkedIn profile. LinkedIn is a good option because obviously people know that you're on there to be a professional and, promote your business and that kind of thing. Maybe you start a blog and you promote it on LinkedIn. There's a lot that goes into like marketing online. So that would be a whole nother video series. Actually, I have a whole class on marketing and getting bookkeeping clients. So how to get bookkeeping clients. The link is in my description box and also on my website. If you go to classes, I think it's called, you'll see the different options there. But my point is, pick one of those things and start doing it a little bit now at the beginning. Like I said, I just got on TikTok. Again, here's my handle. There are some bookkeepers on there, that have 1,000 followers, and they're sharing simple bookkeeping tips that help small business owners. So then even if, 2 of those 1,000 people are interested in hiring them as a bookkeeper, that is worth their time for sure. I think I have a playlist also about marketing. So if you search the playlist on this channel, you'll get a whole bunch of free content content on how to do bookkeeper marketing. But the main idea for this video is do a little something to start marketing now, specifically something that you can scale later. So start getting to know potential clients online, maybe have a way to collect their email addresses so you can keep following up and communicating with them. A video on that topic I have is a simple sales funnel for bookkeepers. But the key as a beginning bookkeeper is just look open and ready for business. So whether that's you have your own website, which I recommend, or your LinkedIn profile, or whatever it is, when people search you and your business online, they should see something that looks professional. So I feel like that was kind of a fire hose of information for newer bookkeepers. But like I said, hopefully it doesn't overwhelm you too much, but it encourages you to just keep taking those little steps every day to build and to make your bookkeeping business better and better. Thank you so much for staying till the end, and I will talk to you again next week with a new bookkeeper video. You can subscribe, check out my website, finepoints.biz. A lot of the stuff I mentioned is in the description box. Talk to you later, bye. If you want to connect just a little bit more, you can also hit this join button and then sign in, and I'll show you all the benefits you can get from it. So this is just $5 a month, and here are some of the things you get. So you get access, I think this is the most helpful thing, you get access to the whole FinePoints resource library. So every resource or freebie or printable that I've created, you can get. You just send you a Google Drive link for this. So that saves you time. You don't have to find all of them different places. And then we have a bonus one too. It's a bookkeeping calendar, and you also get discounts on any class I have. So I have 2 classes, Bookkeeper Business Coach and Bookkeeper Marketing Coach, that helps you either start your business or get bookkeeping clients. So you can get 10% off that, which would pay for itself if you're using this. You also get priority reply in the comments. So both me and my assistant Krista answer comments. So you would just get all your questions answered and just kind of be able to connect with us a little closer. And I think we're going to change these badges so that they're like more fun. I think I can upload my own pictures. So let me know if you have any ideas about what I should do for that. But totally don't have to, but just want to let you guys know this is available if you're interested.